What is up, sports fans, and welcome back to another episode of Pez's Picks. I'm Jeff Hartman, joined by the man with the picks, Pez himself. What's up, Pez? How's it going?
Feels like Thanksgiving Eve, Jeff. Last week of normal football. Next week, we're to be busy out the wazoo. We got Wednesday, we got Thursday, we got Friday, we got Saturday, we got Sunday. We got gambling almost every day. Maybe a Tuesday night game. I don't know. We're counting Monday. If we play that game, that's this week. But Philadelphia Eagles, Jeff, 3 o'clock. Good Black Friday. I won't be in the state of Pennsylvania. I wish I was. I'm hearing it's going to be quite a tailgate scene, like no one's ever believed, Jeff. I just can't. 3 o'clock Friday game when you're off work. The NFL should look into doing this every week, right? A 3 o'clock. English soccer does this. What a phenomenal thing! A Friday 3 or 4 o'clock game, fantastic. I don't know. NFL needs to look at this. I can't wait, Jeff. But we got a big week this week. I believe we're going to have 10 plays. 9 or 10 college and pro combined, and I can't wait, Jeff. We got.
Well, you brought up Black Friday. I do have to ask because you're a golfer. I'm a golfer as well. Are you going to be watching any of the Skins game on Friday, the Black Friday? It's going to be before the game starts, the Eagles game. It's going to be, I think, at 11 a.m. Previously recorded. I love the Skins game.
I'll record that, Jeff, because I'll watch it. And I do love the Skins. I liked it better in the old days when the guys didn't make as much money and they pocketed that money. I mean, then it was for real, right?
Exactly, yeah.
I'll definitely watch it, but if all goes well, I'll be skiing, Jeff. Killington, Vermont. We Thanksgiving there. They've been getting a ton of snow. Jay Peak, Vermont, closing in on 100 inches so far in the season. I never heard of that. Never heard of that. That's up on the tip of Vermont by Canada. Killington about an hour and a half south. And we're closing in about 35 inches, which is pretty great in November. And they have more snow guns, I believe, than anybody in America. It's a phenomenal thing to ski through. You get covered, and we'll get some great vids. We'll get some ski vids. We'll get some picks. But that Friday game, I don't even know if we could pick it, Jeff. I don't know if we'd be legitimate to play that game. We'll have to wait and see. I mean, people call us homers when we take these birds, but they just keep winning, Jeff, and they keep covering. Don't get me started, Jeff.
We won't.
Get me started. We'll talk.
All right. Well, let's talk about last week. We had a bounce back, I would call it, in the National Football League, continuing to stay above water in both college and the NFL. So, Pez, when you look back at the picks from last week, what did we learn?
In college, we're a little bit of surprise. I think that Texas A&M game last week kind of killed us for the week. I love the Dartmouth play, the BYU play. They were great. But at the end of the day, Texas A&M, that was last week, right, Jeff?
Yeah, South Carolina have to close.
Yeah, South Carolina, Texas A&M. It makes a comeback, but, I wonder about this playoff in the rankings. I think, I think we're a little guilty of that. I don't know if some of these teams are as good as their ranking. I think Florida is a way better team than their record. I think Miami is better than their ranking right now. And, I think teams that we have to watch their seeding ranking based on the value in their team. Big games coming up down the stretch here. I think we have 2 games left in college football, and you're going to have to be in the top 12. So the pressure's on. I mean, the playoffs have basically begun. In terms of pro football, Jeff, we're learning that the whole league stinks, right? At this point, I cannot remember a time where we had this much quarterback turmoil, line shifting, injuries. When we look at the standings right now, I mean, legitimately, the Eagles are the only team that are probably going to make the playoffs of the NFC East. We go to the South, maybe you get 3 teams, Lions, Packers, Bears, but one of them could get bounced out. We drop down, Buccaneers. Aside from that, none of those teams are making it. And then we might get 3 teams from the NFC West, which I'm still a little bit surprised with. Seattle is coming on. AFC, even harder to predict at this point. Are the Patriots that good, Jeff? I don't know. I'd like to say yes, and the Bills appear to be bouncing back. Steelers, I like them. I got a soft spot in my heart. I think that team's a playoff team. I don't know if the Ravens can get it done. A big test for the Colts this week. Colts, Kansas City. We're not going to play the game, Jeff. I can't bet against Andy Reid and Mahomes at home. A must-win game against a bowl, a dome team going outside. And I don't even have a lean on that game. I looked at it about 5 times. I really want to play it. Colts lighten up the scoreboard, but we're going to find out. We're going to find out this week. Chiefs lose that. I think they're out of the playoffs, right? And if the Colts win, I mean, that's a legitimate team. So that's the breakout team this year. I think we talked about it in August. I think 2 to 5% of the time, teams that come in last come in first in their division. And the Bears are shocking us a little bit too. A surprising turnaround and a good win for us last week. Caleb Williams, I'm going to eat my words on that guy a little bit. Better coaching, better style of play for him, and that quarterback looks for real. But at the end of the day, the Philadelphia Eagles, Jeff, are still the best team in the league. I don't care that they're not scoring a lot of points. I don't care they're not throwing the ball over the middle. I believe it's 7 straight years we've had a different offensive coordinator. And, of course, Jalen Hurts and the offense looks a little bit disjointed. That defense, though, I can't see anybody scoring points in them, especially at home. We'll find out this week in Dallas. I mean, that offense is good, but the cockroaches we hate. But that defense, I think, is designed to win a Super Bowl. And if you don't turn the ball over, we talk about it every week. I was debating with people all week. Guys that are Eagles fans today told me that we can't win with Jalen Hurts. I remind them, we won last year with Jalen Hurts. Guy was MVP of the Super Bowl. So I believe with that defense, as long as we don't turn the ball over and we put up 20 points, give or take a touchdown, we're going to win in every game. And I like it. I like that team, and I like them going forward. And I think we got to go calm down a little bit on this, Jeff. And will Aaron Rodgers play? That's a big question. I mean, what are you thinking?
Well, he didn't practice Wednesday. They said they're going to try to get him back on Thursday. It's his non-throwing wrist, but he has to be able to protect himself. He has to be able to hand the ball off. He's got to be able to do all that stuff. I think that deep down, Mike Tomlin already knows, and he's not saying a word. He's keeping the cards. He's keeping the cards close to the vest. He's going to make the Bears prepare for multiple quarterbacks, and then I could see it being a game time decision, and I would love that. I'm fine with that, by the way.
If we go by analytics, they've got them at 9.5 wins right now. I think the Steelers are a 10 or 11 win team. I'm not buying the analytics. And I think they get in the playoffs. They have to figure out that defense, right? At some point with the talent over there, they're going to have to figure it out. And I think if they do,
they're starting to.
I think that Steelers are a team to watch going through. I think the AFC is completely wide open. The Colts, the Patriots are startups with quarterbacks that haven't had any playoff success. And, you go through this list. Is Denver for real? I'm not so sure about that. I mean, they're not winning convincingly. Chargers. Jeff, we're gonna make a statement right here. We will never bet those Chargers again with that stupid Harbaugh. Horrible last week. How do you go to Jacksonville and get smoked like that? I apologize to all the Peasants Picks followers out there. And the Chiefs might not make the playoffs. So I think the Steelers, Eagles, Super Bowl, Jeff, I still got hope. I got money on it. I got Steelers winning it. And if so, we might middle that out. But end of the day, I think it's wide open in the AFC more than we've seen it probably in what? I mean, we'll probably go back 20 years between Baltimore, New England, and Kansas City. I don't remember, none of those teams are looking too hot right now. So I like the Eagles' chances against any of the first place AFC teams right now. And we're rolling, Jeff. We're rolling. I can't wait for this weekend. We got a big weekend coming up on Peasants Picks. I cannot wait.
All right, so let's go to college football. We've talked about this the past 2 years we've done the show. This is kind of the time of year where you start to see turnover. Some players say, I'm not coming back. I'm out of here. Some coaches say, I'm not coming back. I'm out of here. In which case, that can definitely impact gambling and the plays that you make and the spreads that are out there. And I know that one year we had a huge win. You had a hunch of, I don't know if it was JMU or someone like that half the team and the coaching staff left. You're like, we are going all in on the team that they're playing. What do you think about that down the stretch in terms of the turnover?
I wonder with Lane Kiffin and what the situation is with that team. So that's a difficult thing to kind of wager on. You almost have to be in the room to understand the effect. Speaking of JMU, I talked to our 6-string punter, our source down there. He claims the rumors are that coach is gone. Penn State's talking to him.
Wow.
A couple other big schools. We considered taking him this week, but then luckily, we punched some numbers and I did some research on it. I think if JMU wins out, they still are mathematically eliminated. So can players start to peel off now? Perhaps. You got to really do your homework. And I think to bet teams that you have to go one or the other. I think teams that are on the bubble that know they're out are bad bets. I think teams that are on the bubble that are blue chip teams, Texas, Miami. When we look, Vandy right now, Georgia Tech, USC, Michigan, even these teams that are on the bubble that still have a legitimate chance are good plays. I think those are the teams that you want to look at investing money on. Teams like a JMU, teams that are kind of eliminated, I think are a tough bet. I also think there is money to be made on teams playing against each other that have no chance to make the playoff. Right, they're in a minor conference, aren't going to win it. They don't get an automatic bid. And I think there are players that are playing harder on these smaller schools that might not be very good, looking to get looks to move up. If we look at Indiana's roster, that half that team was playing for JMU. So this is a tryout for some of these guys to go from a JMU or North Texas even and jump to a Big Ten school or Michigan, Ohio State, Indiana, any of them, Texas, USC. More money, Jeff. I mean, we're talking dollar bills now. Next year, they're going to be able to pay salary to these guys. The bigger schools are going to pay more. So college is a little bit more predictable. I don't think I've ever said that in my life. College football this year has been a better investment than pro football. A little bit more consistent play. I mean, Texas A&M screwed us a little bit, but questions there. Ohio State, not a tough schedule. Indiana, can they beat Ohio State? Can Oregon play against these big boys this year? We haven't ever seen them do it. Is Notre Dame for real? Can Alabama hang on? Can BYU hang on, Jeff? That's a big question mark, and I like that team. And can Vanderbilt get in there? I still, in my heart, feel like Miami, Florida is a top 5 team. If Carson Beck does not throw interceptions, I think that team is brutal to play in a playoff. I like their chances to get in. They're about 2 spots below right now. And I think if they get in, we're going to have a great college football playoff. I think college football is doing everything right at this point. The NIL thing, I guess the Supreme Court decision was out of their hands. From the pregame, the McAfee, the Sports Center pregame to this playoff, I think they're doing everything right. And I had questions about it. I think we talked about it the last couple of years. I love it, Jeff, and it's keeping everybody interested. I can't wait. It's going to be a great playoff.
It is. It's going to be a lot of fun down the stretch, and we're going to keep you up to date with everything and all of our premium picks. Don't forget, are on Pez'sPicks.com. Go to Pez'sPicks.com. Get yourself involved. Be a part of the website. And, you get the best picks that we have. And last week we went 7-5. Current record since we launched the website, 27-19-2. So
we'll take it, Jeff. We'll take it. That's making dollar bills right there.
No one, and I mean no one in this industry is perfect. I have been keeping tabs on so many different people, and they're all losing games. No one predicted the Jaguars to beat the Chargers 35-6 last week.
Well, the Steve guy that does the pregame on ESPN, he's below water, Jeff. A lot of the big name pros, CBS Sports are way below water, and we're proud of that number right now. In NFL, it's been tough, but I think as we get a little bit further down the season here, we're going to start kind of having the cream rise to the top as usual. We put out a free pick, I believe, this week, didn't we, on the Buffalo-Houston game?
Yes.
We announced that early. We put it out in the morning. By nighttime, C.J. Stroud rolled out. I'm concerned about that guy and his performance this year. So I think Buffalo, we're going to lay. I think we put it out. We're laying 5. I think that line's up to 6 now. It's probably going to jump up to 7 by tomorrow. I think that's a solid play. Buffalo, you look at their numbers, and with Houston, without Stroud, I don't know if they're going to be able to move the ball. And Buffalo seems to be in that situation where this guy's doing Superman things again. Can he do it in the playoffs this year? I don't know. But I when they are hot, Buffalo is a great team to play. And I don't know about Houston. I wonder about that. What happened with that team? Stroud has not been the guy that we thought he was going to be that rookie year. It just hasn't happened. Jordan Love hasn't been either. I don't know. I don't know what the situation is. Teams figure out how to play guys and kind of take away looks, and I guess that's what's happened.
Well, and the thing is too is a lot of people want to. They'll come at you on social media and say 5. Like, let's say you've announced that you were going to take the Bills giving 5. Yeah, you said in the video, jump on this line early because I don't think C.J. Stroud's going to play. It's a short week. He's dealing with concussion symptoms. And even though he came back to practice, he's not playing. And then it shifts. So if you're paying attention, and this is a good reminder to everyone out there, if you follow us on social media, set up your notifications so that you get notified whenever we put out a video so that you're up to date. And that's at Pez's Picks on Instagram and Twitter. All right, Pez, any thoughts or leans this week before we go into your top 5?
Well, you bring up good points with the points there. When we put out a line, that's one that we see offered out there on certain sports books. It may behoove someone to buy a half a point or a point at times. Sit down, Bailey. I'm dog sitting here, Jeff. This dog's all over me. She must smell my old dogs there. Good dog. We got an old time lab here. I don't know what she's
There you
doing.
go.
Hey, Leonardo. So I think it is wise to buy points if you can get them cheap. I think it's wise to get those lines as early as you can. I think that it's a smart thing to get the advantage when it's out there. When we calculate the line, it's based on us doing a lot of data crunching, and it's a line that we think is the advantage that we're looking to put that play out there. So it's not us just saying, I like it. We're punching numbers. We're punching points for, against. We're looking at defense, quarterback output, et cetera. So at the end of the day, that is an important thing, and you do get burned. I mean, they have these lines down. I mean, I was looking at that Monday night game. I think the total lost by half a point. The total went off at 48.5, and it was a 49-point total. So they're using very intelligent people and intelligent computer systems to make these lines. So when we put those out there, we're trying to get you the advantage. We want everybody to win, Jeff. It's all of us against the book, and that's the way it's got to be. They have the advantage. We're trying to take it back from them, of course.
All right. Any thoughts or leans, though, other than that you wanted to mention? Or I know you talked about the free play that we put out there for the Thursday night football game between the Bills and the Texans in Houston. But any other thoughts before we get to your top five?
We're not going to play it, Jeff, because I'm not positive. But, when you look at that line in Baltimore, that leads me to believe that there's something that's clicked in that team. They're laying 13.5. I know it's in the Jets, and the Jets have kind of played hard on defense still, but that's a lot of points, 2 touchdowns against an offense that hasn't been too consistent. That might be a play to look at if you're looking to play a big number. We're not going to take the game. I just think that's too many points with an offense that's still a little jittery. Seattle, Tennessee, I'm worried about that one, Jeff. There's nobody in the world that's going to bet Tennessee. Nobody, right? I mean, Tennessee's terrible. That number's going up. I think that's a trap game of sorts. Seattle coming off, a big week and a big season. I think, them coming off losing to the Rams, it was kind of their moment. If they beat the Rams and the Seattle's for real, I could see a little bit of a letdown game against the Titans. It's a tough place to play traveling across town. So I'd be wary of these big lines. 14-point lines are very difficult. That's 2 scores. You got garbage time. So I'm not going to say I have a lead on Tennessee, but I'm not going to be shocked if Tennessee wins that game or covers that game. That would not blow my mind.
Okay. All right, Pez, top 5 time. What do you got for us this week?
Jeff, the top 5, we spent some time in New York. I just want to remind everybody that American cities are still a great place to visit. We stayed in Jersey City. We had a great time, Jeff. New York City, and I love Philadelphia. I talked to some of these New York cops. I know a guy up there. There are no homeless on the streets, Jeff. There are no drug addicts walking around like I see in Philadelphia every week when I go there. I hear Baltimore's worse. New York City, the greatest city in the world, Jeff. It's not my favorite city. Philadelphia is the greatest city. Having said that, it's caught a little commercial. A lot of my old haunts and old favorites have closed since COVID, so we're kind of having a rebirth of that town. That town, the best city. Get there, get your family there. My boy loves it. It's an invigorating thing to go there, Jeff. Fantastic place. So top 5, number 5, Jeff, and I should put this number 1, but I don't want to be called a homer. The Eagles defense. That defensive line and the moves we've made. You put Mitchell, you throw our D-backs in there. I don't know how anybody's scoring on them, Jeff. Number 5, Eagles defense, best defense in the league, and they're getting better. Number 4, the one complaint I have about New York City, I think Jersey City's giving them competition for bagels, Jeff. We're going to go with B Bagel. B, the letter B, Bagel. The best bagel shop I've been in, Jeff, probably, I don't know, a decade or more. They're these 2 brothers. They look like they're badass guys. They kill somebody. Running this bagel shop. It ran like a machine. We had 30 people at the door. We put a video out in this place. Jersey City, B Bagel, best bagel shop I found. I'm going to go on a limb. That's the best bagel shop in New Jersey. Number 3, the New England Patriots. I wasn't a believer, Jeff. That team, Mike Vrabel, maybe coach of the year. That team all of a sudden turned on a dime. They were terrible the last couple of years. New England Patriots, that's a real team. I like them. I like the style they're playing. Good to have a New England team. It makes the league a little bit more fun to hate them. Number 2, I think you like this guy, Jeff. Billy Strings. Fan? Billy Strings, bluegrass, kind of Grateful Dead, jam band, young kid, blew up. I was told this week from a Grateful Dead encyclopedia guy I know, he opened up for the Dead last year at that San Francisco 3-day debacle of a concert they did in the park. He opened up. The kid blew up. Great concert. You got a mandolin, you got a violin, you got a guy on guitar, you got Billy Strings, and you got a guy on bass. That's it, Jeff. That's the whole band. I was mesmerized that there's some sort of circular thing that goes on in the crowd. I don't know what the hell was going on. My kid kept asking, what was that skunky smell? He was there, Jeff. The only problem is in New Jersey Devils Stadium, which we talked about. That's the most hated team ever. Billy Strings, number 2. Get out and check out that kid. He's playing guitar. I like him. And number 1, New York City, the city that never sleeps, Jeff. One of the best nights of my life. Year 2000, 99 turns 2000. Me and a group of 20. We're in Times Square. I love it. Another bagel shop I'll drop, Jeff. Leon's Bagels across the street from Tony Bourdain's old restaurant, La House, which is closed. Leon's Bagels, best bagel shop in Manhattan right now. You got a water ferry now, Jeff. They have a water ferry system take you from Hoboken, Jersey City, NYPD, best police force in the world. I can't get enough about it. Nobu, best sushi in America, Jeff. We just had a great time. Can't talk enough about New York City. I can't wait to get back. Lock it up on the Big Apple. The city never sleeps. I can't wait, Jeff.
Sounds like you had a great trip. Sounds like you're getting ready to go do some skiing. Pez, any final thoughts before we call it a show?
Big week, Jeff. I think this is the week. You make your money, and next week we're gonna have to really punch some numbers. I would not put a lot of future bets out. A lot of things change between Sunday, Monday, and when games start playing Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So let's enjoy this week. I don't know. What do you eat a week before you eat Thanksgiving, Jeff? I don't know. I made some steak last night. You would have been proud of me. I don't know. How do we prepare, Jeff? How do we prepare for this big gorging? My wife and I have tried some organic turkeys and some farm turkeys. We're back to the Butterball, Jeff. I don't know if there's a better turkey in the world than the Butterball. I don't even know if they eat turkey around the world. Maybe it's just an American thing, but Butterball turkey, can't wait. We bathe ours in orange juice, Jeff. That's a little secret that my Italian wife uses. My kid does the decorating or whatever we talk about, the marinating of the bird. He goes in shoulder deep on that thing. You got to get the butter and the orange juice deep in there, Jeff. You got to really get in there. Can't wait. Best holiday. That's the best holiday. I can't wait. Thanksgiving.
We'll talk a lot about Thanksgiving next week. But people, make sure you check out Pez on social media handles at Instagram and Twitter at Pez's Picks. And also check out our premium picks at Pez'sPicks.com. Pez, been a great show, man. Have a good weekend. We'll talk next week. Take it easy.
Later.